From mid-century to contemporary, public to private, we're in search of the very best in art. Homes, happenings, stores, restaurants, and people. Things that defy categories. The perpetual freshness and cool of modern never ceases to captivate us. Join us for another edition of Modern Dallas TV to discover what's going on and where in the modern world. Modern Dallas Real Estate this week is here at 2300 Custer Parkway in Richardson, Texas, in a wonderful enclave of mid-century modern, but this is really a special one, and one that's been updated to today's lifestyle by Tavis Westbrook and his partner Trey Williams of Superior Acquisitions. Tavis, this is a labor of love almost.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, homes like this come on the market, and there's two options. Very few people take the time and the patience to really create what you guys have created. Why? What was that?
For me, I have a passion for really good design. And I think the original design of this home, it's rare that you find a mid-century modern home in Dallas that's posted beam. That's true posted beam, right? You'll have areas of the home that may or may not have that. But I fell in love with that. And I fell in love with some of the detail that this home had to offer and the positioning of the lot. So when I saw it as an opportunity, we immediately thought we could do something great with this home.
So Tavis, one of the beautiful things about these homes, and there are quite a few in this enclave over here, is when people buy a home like this, there's two options. One is to obviously take it down, build something new, or really invest painstakingly and a labor of love into creating what you've created over here. Give us a sense of the timeline and the history of this home and where where it is today.
Sure. So this home was originally built in 1963, post and beam construction, which you saw was very popular back in the mid-century. And the main reason was that you could build it for less because glass was much cheaper then. And then you had less walls to work with, right? You had mainly glass in between the post and the beam. So I fell in love with that. I have a desire for that style just because of the way that you can really blend the indoors and the outdoors together. And that was part of the things that you saw a lot in the mid-century modern era, right? So we bought the home in August 2016. We spent about 4 months on the design phase, collaborating with an architect that I use, Charles D. Bobo. And he and I went back and forth and came up with a design, got permits in December of 2016. So here we are a year later.
So Tavis, one of the beautiful things about where we're standing over here is you really see the house in its original form in the living room. And then you've got the kitchen and the dining, what's today a normal lifestyle for us.
Right.
So this was a huge design challenge.
Yes.
How did this all come about? And tell us a little bit about some of the other changes you made to the house.
Sure. So the original footprint of this home was 2,000 feet. When we bought it, it had an 800 square foot addition. That was really not done well. It just didn't give the house any benefit. So we peeled it back, and then we ended up expanding the home now to 3,278 square feet, AC'd. So we expanded in 3 areas. One is over here on this side, which was the new garage addition, as well as connecting the garage to the main home. Then we pushed out another 4.5 feet on the left side of the home that allowed us to redesign the whole bedroom, Jack and Jill bathroom layout. And then of course we got rid of the old addition and we came back with a really cool master suite that has a 2-foot differential dropping down, just enough stairs to kind of separate it, and it has a really cool feel to it.
So there's 2 features that stand out for me. Obviously, right over here, you've actually extended out the original concept with the beams and the glass and brought it all the way through, which is pretty cool. The other side is in the master bedroom, that corner.
Yes.
Great feel.
Yes. No, I agree completely, and that was the key, right? Is we want to stay consistent with the original architectural feel of the home and make it very difficult for a buyer today to stand in here and go, where did you add on? Where did you expand? What changed? And that's a good challenge and a bad challenge, right? Because people don't know the extent of what we did here. But we did a lot to bring it back and then blend the styles of the old nostalgic MCM as well as today's modern features that you want to see in a home.
So there are plenty of features.
Yes.
what are they?
You know, some of the best features obviously is that we rebuilt the home inside and out. So now by doing that, we were able to get to a 65 HERS index, which means we're 35% more efficient than a standard new build. We've got Energy Star rating. We've got Texas Green Built in the remodel category for Texas Association of Builders energy efficiency. And then of course all the smart home features as well. So with all new mechanical, electrical and plumbing, you get all the green amenities that come along with that. The home is fully encapsulated with foam. You've got 2 inches of closed cell foam under the home. So as you notice walking through the home, it doesn't sound like a pier and beam, even though it is, right? So that's some of the great features there. And then of course you got a European kitchen with all the bells and whistles there. Grandeur Cabinet Works did an excellent job with all the details and the hidden rollouts and everything to keep the kitchen very functional but very clean and simple, and everything's tucked away in its own spot. So lots of things that go along with that, and of course all the smart home features from whole house audio to fully automated controls for the pool equipment, the AC system, as well as 360 cameras, pre-runs around the home as well. So all those things are in it to give you all today's best features in a home.
And it's unbelievable, what a compliment. But one of the other great features that you have really, I mean, to think on this lot and how it's all laid out, there are 3 great courtyards and the swimming pool. And beyond that, just an amazing deck.
Yes, well, thank you. You know, that was really cool. The way that the home was originally positioned on the lot allowed for those areas. So typically in a main home, you've got a front yard and you've got a backyard, right? In this home, you do have the 3 courtyards, the entry courtyard, which is a great feel that, you know, disconnects you from the outside world and allows you to come into the canopy of the massive 5-trunk red oak outside. And then of course you've got these other areas that allow for different functionality in the home, from outdoor kitchen, and then of course you've got the areas outside that the kids can play without being, you know, worrying about them being in the pool. And then you have of course the pool and some additional yard space as well.
So the house is listed for?
1.2 million.
And where can they see it?
They can see it on kellerwilliams.com with Lisa Williams, as well as on your website.
Wonderful. And if you'd like to see all the modern listings in Dallas, visit our website at moderndallas.net. Tavis, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Modern Dallas Art this week is here at ro2art in the Cedars. We're here to see the work by Mark Burt and Georganne Deen, and I'm here with Jordan Roth. Jordan, when we come to the Cedars to ro2, it's thought-provoking work.
Thank you, yeah.
And this is another one of those shows. Give us a sense of Mark, what he's trying to accomplish with this body of work.
This body of work is many years in the making. First, it's important to kind of note, Mark, who's currently in Bossier, Louisiana, is essentially a Texas artist, coming from this really deep tradition of narrative art making that originated, or this sort of work stems from East Texas State University under the professor Lee Baxter Davis. Several artists have come out of that group. They're sort of known as the Lizard Cult, and among those Trenton Doyle Hancock, Robin O'Neill, and Mark, and then also Georganne Deen, are all known for this narrative work, lots of fantasy stories, characters that re-emerge in one piece after the next. And so what we've got here is a story that developed kind of around a creature that entered Mark's realm somehow in his imagination or in his doodling. One way or another, the cuddle doobie became something in his life, and he realized that it was an important part of his narrative as well.
So there's photography, there's sculpture.
Right.
How do they come together?
Well, okay, so this is a remarkable journey that Mark took in deciding how he would present the sculpture. There's something about them that's so cute that you might think it's a toy at first glance, or you might just want to hug it, you know? And so there's something actually to that. There's a quality that's kind of baked into them. And he wanted to express that and get that across to people. And just presenting them on pedestals does not do that. And rather than creating a graphic novel or a very long writing project, Mark saw an opportunity to create almost, this theatrical production, or this is like cinematography, where he's able to illustrate how the inhabitants of a land called the Dark Place, who have their own struggles, interact with the distractions of their world, which happen to be these cute, kind of precocious characters called the Cuddle Doobies. And so in developing this story and in developing a way to present it, he and makeup artist named Stephanie Fernandez in Louisiana worked together to stage these productions.
Jordan, looking at these pieces, and obviously these are staged, there seems to be more of a story behind them.
Without question, yes. So the purpose of bringing in an element of photography to this exhibition was to bring people into this world of the Dark Place, and in a short time become familiar with the struggles of the Mugawumps, the people of the Dark Place. And it's really intriguing. You don't know what exactly it is, but it seems familiar to you. Something that's worth noting is that the photographs are staged, as I mentioned. However, these characters are kind of universal. You don't know whether they're from the future, the past, or another universe. You've got the scaling, or actually kind of these striations that's painted on them. This was done in body paint. However, another part of the series, photographs of other artists and characters were taken, and the artist actually painted digitally over them. And these are even more, in some cases, more striking.
So on Georganne's body of work, Psychic Violence in America, looking back at what her typical work is, this is a little bit of a leap.
It is. Georganne is also from this group, the Lizard Cult, that I mentioned. In fact, she was kind of the first of the group to emerge nationally. So all of these other artists had kind of looked up to her, including Mark, and bringing her in to this exhibition was kind of a nice way of alluding to what got him to where he was and paying tribute to Georganne. In developing this body of work, she realized that the politics of our time has overtaken really all of her creative process. And instead of struggling with that, she chose to just dive into it head on. And it's something that she may not have necessarily avoided in the past, but just had no interest in. And suddenly we've got a show that really kind of digs deep in maybe why things are the way they are, and why we feel just not exactly right about it.
Right, and when you say that, there's sort of an underlying theme where this is not really just the general populace that are involved, but more the upper populace that are really playing an important part of this process.
So, to cut straight, you hear a lot about middle America and the working class and their role in getting certain groups of people into power. And you don't hear a lot about, the people that we see, in the store down the street or, at fundraisers and whatnot, who, are somewhat complicit in creating a situation that's maybe not good for anybody. And so she's taken some of these familiar faces, or people that look like they'd be familiar, and really kind of exposed maybe the hypocrisy that could be seen in some of these actions.
And obviously the work with Dior is
Chanel,
a significant bit, Chanel. And you know what, for people to really understand this, they should come see the show.
Yeah, it's really worth seeing.
Where can they find you?
We are at 1501 South Hervé in the Cedars, just south of downtown. We're across the street from Dallas Heritage Village. And online at ro2art.com.
And if you want to see all the modern art gallery listings in Dallas, visit our website at moderndallas.net. Thanks, Jordan.
You bet.
Modern Dallas this week visits Dulce Interior Consignment Showplace. It's an upscale interior consignment showplace and art gallery, which offers the perfect blend of comfort with character, tempered with quality and style. Their objective is to provide a multitude of carefully selected items originating from a diverse variety of cultures, concepts, and lifestyles in order to help accentuate and personalize your home or office. Walk into Dulce any day of the week, maybe return a week later, and you may find yourself in an entirely different store. That's because the selection is never quite the same. It's always changing. Located on Oak Lawn Avenue, a half a block from the Warwick Melrose Hotel, Dulce has been a favorite store for consigners, browsers, and shoppers for more than 15 years. You can visit Dulce at 2914 Oak Lawn Avenue, Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., or online at mydulce.com. To wrap up this edition of Modern Dallas TV, we cover local modern events and the art scene. Check out the calendar and the arts page on our website at moderndallas.net. There are always great events from the Dallas Architecture Forum, Preservation Dallas, and the Dallas Center for Architecture has great walking tours in downtown Dallas. Open houses every week, always a great selection. You can create your own mini mod home tour. And Todd Camplin covers the art scene for us, from art galleries to museums and artists. You can check out his page on the website. And lastly, if you're in the market for a modern, mid-century modern, contemporary, home, high-rise or loft, we simply have the finest moderns in Dallas. For this week, we appreciate you being part of our show. We'll see you later.